I am Yolanda Guadarrama. I am introducing you to our festival, a Mexican festival, Movimiento en Movimiento. This is the International Screendance Festival in the edition number 10, and it's dedicated to the liquid body this year. I am very happy to be in FILMOCRACY in this platform of independent festivals, and I hope everybody enjoys our films on demand. And this is just an inauguration, a presentation to let you know what we are showing. Our films, the films that we selected, have relation with the dance. They are choreographies, but involved in a cinematographic narrative. Sometimes they are just experimental films that have certain relation with the body. And this is our specialty. And the topic, the liquid body, we are following Zygmunt Bauman in the modernity, the liquid modernity theory that he has been speaking about. And we speak about fragile bodies, about uncertainty. And well, we try to speak about all this topic with the films. And then the films, they are 27 short films, and they are divided in 4 programs. The first program is And the Ship Goes. The ship is our planet, and is heading into uncertainty where we don't know if humanity will be able to continue or not, if the established system will continue. And then this program has some films related to this purpose, to speak about the new normality, what is going to happen to us in our planet. The second program is gender. We have, I think there are 6 films or 7 films that are speaking about gender in the limits of the defined and indefined body identity. This program reflects the concerns that various creators have done about the representation of the feminine, of the masculine, and of the transgender. Well, then we have the program number 3, that is the liquid body, the topic of the festival. And well, we are speaking, of course, here we have some films that have this dissolution of the body because of various possible reasons, confusion, as I said before, fragile values, continuous movement, or different speed, vulnerability, volatile gender. We have very, very good films with this topic this year. And the final program we are going to be showing is Perceive, Notice, and Experiment. Here we are looking for kind of winning and losing during a game, risk and life. I mean, this is experiment, absolutely experiment. And here we have this kind of experimental films around the body, but experimental, very, very much. I hope you like this kind of films. I hope you enjoy the festival. And well, we are in Mexico. I am Yolanda Guadarrama, director of this festival. Maybe I said it before. I dedicate my life to create a screen dance, to curate a screen dance, and to do this festival. And then we have our robots here around us, and also Yael Weiss, who is not a robot. She is very real, and she is invited. She is a very good writer, and she is invited here to help me speak a bit about these works that we are showing. And please, Yael, please introduce yourself.
Sure, Yolanda. Thank you so much for inviting me. I feel very nice here in this set with 4 chairs you, the robots, and well, to tell a bit who I am. You said it. I'm a writer, and I also work in the National University. I work in the cultural department. I'm an editor in the Revista de la Universidad, the most prestigious cultural magazine in the university, and I also work in the TV UNAM, which is the TV channel the university has on public TV. So I was very happy. I'm very happy to be standing here. I do not do screen dance, as you just heard, but I am a person that is all the time relating to the sense of the narrative. I see narrative everywhere, even in coincidence. I go to the street, I'm walking around, and I'm already making a story, like if there was like a script, like a scenario for everything that's happening. Maybe I believe in destiny. I don't know. There was a writer, Juan Pablo Villalobos, who said that we writers are like a bit paranoiacs. We all the time feel everything has a sense, has something, is saying something more than it is actually saying. That nothing is nothing is a coincidence. Everything has a meaning. And I was very happy to be able to preview the program of gender in this Screen Dance Festival. I discovered this kind of art thanks to Yolanda's invitation, and I was very surprised and very compelled by the symbolic density these pieces have. And it's like a meaning concentrate in 5 minutes in average. And it is very challenging for the viewer, as there are colors. I mean, everything there, every detail seems to count. It's really, really, really compact and concentrate. So there are some films that are in black and white, but some are in colors. So we start asking ourselves, why is this? Are we relating to something in the past? Are we actually going more abstract without color so we can think the lines more carefully? There are some words, there are some objects. For example, there's this film from Harshita Guha from India, where there are objects that appear, objects that are perhaps familiar to some of us, like balls and tennis balls or little toys. And we try to make a story with this. We don't want to lose any detail. We are very attentive to light, movement, music, mixed media. I remember a very, very beautiful image in the film of Martin Gejcik. I think it's his name. How do you pronounce it? I don't know. Well, I didn't hear you, but this this German creator that signed a piece titled "Once I Passed." And there's a moment when we see it's a collage. It's a collage. Actually, it's inspired on Walt Whitman, and there's censured a poem and a story he didn't want to publish in that time because it was very homosexual. And we know how things were 200 years ago or 150 years ago. So it takes back this story, and it's a collage, very beautiful. And you see suddenly an image, a photograph, and it's raining in it. So this mixed media, these stories in a very, very, very short space, where we see mostly are the body moving, and we see the images moving, and all this multimedia frame, like work, is very challenging then for the viewer. And I think it represents very well the dense and complex question of gender, because this is the way we feel ourselves. I mean, as dancers know, proprioception is the way we feel our body, and we can more or less relate to the different parts of our body, like the way we feel ourselves is very complex. And when it comes to gender, it is even more complex. It plays at very different level, in an emotional level, in a sensual, in the senses, like the odors, the things we hear. And I think screen dance is mostly appropriate to experiment and to ask questions for gender from a body's gender. And as I said, it's very, very, these pieces are very dense. So I think it's a very good decision to put the interviews. There are some interviews in this program. Every creator has an interview. So I think it's a very good idea to put the interview between each piece, because it allows us to relax, to come back from this other world the screen dance is showing, where the things work differently and appeal to our own senses, and relax a bit and hear what the director of the film has to say about it. And actually, it's not the clue of the film, because the clue of the film, it's always a mystery. You have to make yourself, you have to get to a conclusion. There's a mystery there. There's a mystery there's a question, a gender question, and a mystery, and it has to be solved. And the interview just gives you some other clues, but it allows you to come back to earth, to relax a little bit, and to also see the other aspect of reality, which is where the creator lives. Because I mean, this gender question isn't a happy one. There's a lot of anguish. There's a lot of nostalgia. There's a lot of restlessness in these videos. They are very strong. So we need these little pauses, and I really celebrate them. Another thing I want to say is, I think the curators were very right in the order of the projections. There are 7 pieces in this set, and we go from very abstract to more concrete, which is, we start with the Spanish piece from Manolo Campoamor, which is called La Mer, which is in French, the sea. And we see a picture divided in 2. We know this division in 2 will come back very often in this set of videos, because, as we know, it is the most simple and also very sometimes not fair division between men and women. It is a wall. We divide in 2, and actually this 2 division is very, very, very clear from the first piece, and to the last piece, and in the last piece. What I mean, in La Mer, you have a picture divided in 2. On the top, you have men. On the bottom, you have the bottom part of the body that looks like women. And as the light changes and the music changes and the photograph moves, this border, this line seems to melt and to change a bit. And in the last piece, actually in the last scene of the piece, which is called Identity, from an Iranian director, Sajad, well, the character, the principal character, who wants to change gender, as we can, I mean, that's what I understood, faces in a public space, faces the icons of woman and man in the entrance of the restrooms. You have to choose, like, you're compelled to choose in real life. And it doesn't actually represent the complexity of the gender of each person. We're not as divided as men and women in the restrooms. And I want to say too that the videos are from all around the world. Here in Mexico, as Yolanda said, we're sitting here in these chairs in Mexico in some way. And well, we should feel more related to films that are made in Mexico, like two of them. We have two pieces in Mexico. Mexican pieces, or in Canada, or even in Spain, because we share languages. Even let's say we feel close to Germany because we come from an Occidental culture and we are more familiar to European values than Iranian or Indian. But in gender and in these screen videos, we can actually understand perfectly and feel every issue as our own. Even the Iranian film. Iranian film takes a story we all know: a married guy that discovers he doesn't want to be a man. I mean, in the Iranian society, this is an enormous, a huge taboo. And we would think, well, in Germany and in some circles, artistic circles, in Mexico, for example, we are familiar to this issue. Actually, it has been present in a lot of artworks, but still, it's one of the pieces that emotionally um, appeals and talks the most to the viewer. Like, it's present. We still are in this, even after all these struggles and all these legal fights and humanitarian fights. We are still having this issue: men that don't want to have the man's role, being perfectly devastated by this problem, right? So I celebrate also this whole world selection. And well, I'm talking a lot, so I'm just gonna leave it there. I'm gonna just say one more comment. It's like I really liked very much. Like, we have this division in two. As I said, we have a lot of mirrors because we're talking about identity, gender identity. So people look at the mirror. The mirror sometimes reflects yourself. Sometimes it makes you enter into another realm, like it happens in another of the Mexican films, which is Onírico. But the mirror and this division in two is just the most superficial part. We have the body, because we're talking about bodies. It's screen dance. There's always a human body, and the body is a unity. And at the same time, we see parts of the body. We see all the time like different focuses on parts of the body, which is we are one, but we are also multiple. Our different parts are playing a role in this identity search. So as a conclusion, I would say I'm very thankful to get to know this kind of expression, this beautiful form of art. I am very touched by it, and I would say to every one of you that this is the 10th edition of the festival, and so it means if you haven't seen Screen Dance, you and me, we have missed 9 editions. So this is the 10th edition.
That's beautiful. Beautiful, Yael. I feel delighted listening to you. As you can hear, Yael was not very fond of screen dance because she didn't know it a lot. She imagined, as everybody, well, this is just a documenting dance, and it is not. It is a very, very complex composition of multidiscipline and transdiscipline, and we are near to cinema. We have very extremely good films here, international films that have really a complex production as a side of a cinema, but also we have pieces that have been done with very few budget, and maybe they are creators' work, creators' films that they do everything alone. But they have a relation. They are very different, but they have a relation in the intensity and the theme of the body. In the result is absolutely good, and it's related to the topics that we are showing. I am just going to speak you a very little bit about other films. For example, in Liquid Body, we have a film that is called A Very Something or Other by Anya Lifting. In this film, she is choreographing in the camera only with her face, and she's kind of chewing sugar. Imagine a horse chewing sugar all the time, and she you say, well, what's this? We are only seeing her face, but she tries to do half entertainment and half like on disturbing you, because then she starts to take off to spit little chemical products that you can buy in the supermarket to wash the dishes or shampoos or whatever chemical products, and she starts to spill them, and she has excoriations and some wounds on her lips, around her lips, and then you see, well, this is she has a fragile body, and she is doing saying that we don't need these chemicals in our bodies because they damage some persons. I myself, Yolanda, I get damaged with all the chemicals. All of them are damaging for me. So I was very sensitive to this film because she was exactly trying to say what I feel every day, that all the products that are around, they are poison for me, and they are poison for everybody, but we don't notice it. So this film is very, very nice. Her face is so expressive, and this is all she is declaring that we need an ecological world. Well, this is one of the films in Liquid Body. We have others. I'm going to speak you about one of the films in the very experimental program that is called Annie Dance 2 Collage. This is very nice because the creator is Spanish also. Luis Carlos did notice that one of the films of Fred Astaire, the famous dancer in the black and white movies, one of these films released the rights, so he could take the film and re-choreograph Fred Astaire, and he shows a completely new choreograph rebuilt, and we see something that is extremely nice for the senses, and he is taking footage and making it live again. There are other very, very extremely good films in this program, but I'm going to speak about one of the films of the first program that is called Huge Mountain. Huge Mountain is kind of a family and friends that are together, and they are supposed to be settled in a mountain about maybe 100 years in the future, and they are in a mountain with snow, and they are there like kind of fighting each other, kind of not trusting each other, kind of being together because they need to survive. They need to be together, but also they hate each other. They don't have a civilization anymore. They live in the middle of the maybe of the bears around in the middle of the mountains, and they are deciding what to do, and they say, well, I don't want to be to have the virus anymore. I don't want, please be far from me because you have the virus and I don't want to have the virus. So this is a fiction that is thinking what is going to happen if we continue with more and more and more viruses that are going to finish with the civilization. And also this film is interesting because it is told with very, very extremely good dance, and also because this is a dance film, a narrative film, and it is a documentary at the same time, because at the end of the film they start showing you how they filmed. So it is everything together, and it is a very experimental film because it has everything. It's very nice to be thinking of the planet, thinking of the extreme horror we have to the future. What can happen with us if we continue fighting, if we continue destroying the planet. And also this is experimental, and this is very nice in dance, and combining different kind of films, documentary, narrative, dance film together. So well, I think we have been speaking about some of the films, but we have many surprises. I don't show you films here because you have all the films there to see them. Please, you are invited. There are these uh, interviews to all the creators, 2 minutes interview to listen to the creators. What were they thinking when they did a film? But the most important, something I didn't say at the beginning, there is an audience award. Everybody who comes here to Filmocracy can vote for the best film. So please see the films the most you can, vote for the film that you like the most. And please, we always say that we are creating addictions to screen dance. So please become addicted to screen dance as we are, because maybe I converted already. Yael, are you converted?
I am.
Great.
I am converted.
This is not a religion.
A screen dance, you never come back. No, it's really fantastic because it really challenges most of the senses. It's a really complete experience.
Great. So you are invited. See all the films. See the most you can. Vote for your best film, and we'll be back. We'll be back, I hope, next year and in 2 years with more screen dance films. Thanks for seeing. Goodbye, robots. Goodbye, Yael. Goodbye,
Yolanda.
everybody.
Goodbye, everybody. I hope we meet in this, how you say, the theater where
oh, this is a stage panel. We can be addicted to this kind of stage panels too. So maybe yes, we come back to everybody to speak about certain particular films.
Sure.
Okay. Thank you, everybody, and goodbye. Have a good day.
Enjoy.
Enjoy, of course. Enjoy a lot.